This post-war restoration church, razed to the ground during the course of the Blitz, may well hold the key to some of London's most ancient, curious and now vanished traditional customs. Originally consecrated in the year 1185, the church is constructed in a classic Templar style, referred to by architectural historians as a temple round, on account of its circular structure. A unique architectural development believed to reflect a latent Templar interest in astronomy, astrology and a host of other related secret sciences, it still remains largely unexplained even now. This overtly astrological carving from the medieval church of Stoke-sub-Hampton is believed to reflect this Templar interest in astrology, and is seen by some to betray a Templar knowledge of the great astrological star temple at Kingston in Surrey, discovered by local Kingston historian Mary Kane. This ancient circle of roads, hills, rivers and earthworks, with its counterpart at Glastonbury in Somerset, is clearly visible from the air, in spite of widespread scepticism from many in the archaeological establishment, and can be overimposed by a scaled-down astrological planisphere. In the centre of this initiatory circle is an ancient prehistoric stone, composed of similar materials to parts of Stonehenge, and used in St Dunstan's semi-legendary coronations of Alfred's West Saxon dynasty. The King's Stone is apparently linked with an ancient football game played out in the shadow of the Druid's Head Inn, overlooking the town's historic marketplace, which is bounded by the nearby River Thames and its tributary, the Hogsmill Brook.
Can you tell me about the Kingston football game and its origins?
This seems to be the oldest legend of Kingston, as far as I can find out. It comes in Byden's History of Kingston. Kenwal, a West Saxon king, seems to have been based in Kingston, was lured to Merton by the love of a fair maid, and there killed by a jealous rival and near relative, whose name was Cunard perhaps, the same as the shipping line. When the men of Kenwal found that their king had been killed, they were furious, and they marched from Kingston all the way to Merton, and a great battle ensued between the two factions. They killed Cunard and kicked his head all the way back to Kingston. The battle was reenacted every hot tide in Kingston Market, with the two bridges, the Clattering Bridge and the Thames Bridge, as the goalposts. And this went on for centuries until the burghers of Kingston got tired of having their windows broken, and the whole thing had become something of an orgy and a riot. So they moved the Kingstonian footballers out along the Richmond Road, where they still play to this day.
The story of Merton's fair maid is doubtless an ancient sun myth aimed at retaining some local knowledge of this prehistoric star temple long after Christians suppressed the traditions originally preserved there.
If Kingston is Libra, and Kenwal sets out from Kingston to go to Merton, he's come to Scorpio, which is the death sign, and he's on his way towards Virgo at Banstead, Worcester Park and Cheam. So it looks as though it was perhaps a zodiacal myth in the first place, where the Sun King is killed on the death sign Scorpio. Football is known to be a solar game in origin, so this is quite likely that sort of a tale. Football used to be played in churches. In Somerton Church, near Glastonbury, balls have been found in the roof. Apparently the sun ball was tossed by the parson from the east end right across to the west end, where the clerk would catch it and throw it back. A solar game to mark the passage of the sun through the heavens. The story of Kenwal no doubt reflects the same.
The location of Kingston's Druid's Head, close to the Surrey County Law Courts, may well be indicative of some forgotten connection with London's own similarly suppressed traditional football game. Here, in the shadow of the High Courts of Justice, a near identical contest was formerly played out beneath an ancient and now vanished maypole, which was finally demolished by means of a special Act of Parliament in 1714 to make way for the magnificent Palladian spire of the Church of St Mary le Strand. Built by an authoritarian 18th century Tory government with a similar purpose in mind to Margaret Thatcher's 20th century suppression of the Stonehenge People's Free Festival, with its own similarly pagan and libertarian political theme, St Mary le Strand is directly aligned with the churches of St Clement Danes and St Dunstan's in the west. Thus there may well be a link between the long-lost Strand Maypole festivities and those previously enacted at both Kingston in Surrey and London's Temple Bar, with their mutual association with the semi-legendary West Saxon kingmaker, Abbot of Glastonbury and former Bishop of London, Dunstan himself.